been watching some clips from Jordan Peterson's appearance on Jubilee, which was called, or is currently called, Jordan Peterson versus 20 Atheists. There was some trickery in terms of how that was titled. The atheists were told it was a Christian versus 20 Atheists, and Jordan Peterson wasn't told that title. So they set him up in terms of the way he was going to respond to the question when the atheist said, "Are you a Christian?" and then he denied that fact, really. So I wanted to say how important it is that we understand who we're connected to and who we are identified with, and why that's important in the world's eyes. And I think maybe Jordan Peterson's being very honest that he is not a Christian, and he really doesn't like to answer that question and finds it offensive. So it's quite interesting for someone who's quite open and about free speech and about who he is and how important honest speaking is, that he takes that route and hasn't really aligned himself with Christianity so fully and firmly, and that's down to perhaps his spiritual status. Perhaps God hasn't saved him as yet, and hopefully that will happen. But I wanted to say how important it is for us to be clear what we believe and who we are, and who we're identified with, and making the gospel clear too, because Jordan Peterson is caught up with the Roman Catholic Church more, and he's very influenced by that side of things, and that means the gospel is not clear, and the works gospel of the Roman Catholic Church being that you commit sins, then you have to do a certain number of good deeds in order to wipe them out, and it's a little bit more complex than that, but basically that appeals very much, I would think, to Jordan Peterson's philosophies of the things he's written. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, and make yourself a good person, and that's concerning. It's almost Pelagian in very human and works-oriented salvation, or works-oriented life, in order to please what he might call the highest good, which is the God that you can imagine that is the highest good. So yeah, it's very interesting to watch Jordan Peterson. I hope and pray that he will become a Christian and that God will save him, but also think about how important it is, who we identify with and how we do that. So just yeah, heads up on that, and watch the video if you can. It's very, well, I don't know if the word is cringeworthy, but it's very awkward when he's asked that question directly and then doesn't want to. I haven't seen him behave like that before, because he basically walks out, and he's not standing his ground or just being clear about where he is. So have a look at that, but it's not a very good example of how he normally presents himself and comports himself. But nevertheless, it's interesting if you follow Jordan Peterson. That's quite a moment. Thank you for listening.